Our next presenter is Amy Rock from Geospatial Studies, and she is one of our HSU QLT faculty ambassadors, and she is going to be talking about what's new. Or before and after QLT is her new title. Thank you.
Yeah. So a couple of the things that Armida said are definitely true, that the building community, and when I did this, I also did it initially for an online course, and I was a little terrified about building community, but it actually turned out to be pretty easy, because when you go through the guidelines, there's a lot of great examples on how to do that. And that was another thing that I translated back to my face-to-face, because I think when we lump students in a classroom, we just assume they're going to speak to each other. And, you know, we might facilitate a classroom discussion that gets them sharing some ideas that goes, hey, you think like me, that's pretty cool, or you don't think like me, I want to learn more. But actually structuring that stuff in an online course and then bringing that back to the face-to-face, I now have some more kind of icebreaker activities in my face-to-face courses that mimic that stuff. But what I really wanted to show you was what I talked about in the video, the course roadmap, the changes it made in my course. So initially, this was how I used to set up my Canvas course. And this is sort of how I set up my computer hard drive, right? I have all the PowerPoints dumped in a folder, I have all the lab activities dumped in a folder. And so in my online courses, this is always how I gave it to the students, right? All the lab stuff's over here, all the lecture slides are over here, you just figure it out. And after with your cult, it was like, oh, you know what, maybe I should give them a little more structure. So start here, get your syllabus, your introductory stuff. This is what we're going to do in week 1. This is obviously for a summer course because it's only 8 weeks. Right, this is what we're going to do in week 2, and so forth. And so each one of these modules then has everything for that week, the PowerPoints, the lab materials, any extra readings, all of that stuff. And they found that to be a little bit better because they didn't have to go into this folder and then over there and think, oh, I want the resources based on this topic, but I can't remember which folder they're in. This way they just go to that topic and they're good. It also made a change in the way I set up assignments on the course. So in the beginning it was, you know, here's your stuff, here's the instruction sheet, and a couple of little details to go with it. After I went through the course roadmap, which has you align your objectives with your activities, and as Carrie mentioned, we're doing a lot of the stuff already. So that process was easy because the activities were already targeted toward objectives. But actually stitching them together in the roadmap, I thought, you know, maybe I should share with my students what I expect from them during this activity. Like, why are we actually doing this? Which is another thing on the CULT checklist. So I started putting those in the Canvas list as well. Like, here's actually what you're going to do in this activity in terms of course objectives. And then just to reiterate what to turn in so they don't have to go back into the handout and so forth. So really just kind of streamlining the process, making everything a little more explicit so the students don't have as much guesswork getting around. I didn't really change the lab activities. I didn't change the way I teach the stuff. I just changed the way I present it to the students, and it's made a tremendous difference in how well they access the material. So that's my before and after.